Skyrim is a game that many people know and love. You may know it as the RPG that's set in a world that's rich in both lore and many endearing bugs.
All of this just works.
And even though Skyrim is now a decade old, thousands of people are playing it at this very moment. Skyrim's shelf life has been extended by mods. Some are visual touch-ups, overhauls of gameplay aspects, or complete meme material. But that's besides the point, and I want to cut to the chase. As a complete gamer and a connoisseur of weapon martial arts, Skyrim's recent port into the realm of VR has finally given me the chance to show my martial skill. We're going to prove our mettle, gauge our prowess, become God, all on the quest to become skilled enough to fight and defeat Geralt of Rivia. To start our journey, we would first have to create a character to suit our needs. The first choice I would have to make is to pick a race, but to get it out of the way, I wasn't planning to play as any of the races of men because I was no basic bitch, and I wasn't planning to play as a furry either.
Degenerates like you belong on a cross.
Meet Plumkirsch Grogaluk. Now he's not like other orcs. While most orcs revere honor above everything and live in strongholds akin to modern Native American reserves, Plumkirsch was born and raised in the city and, as a result, has been whitewashed. But he's still an orc, and considering that I made this video to hone my martial prowess, Plumkirsch fits perfectly for my means. We would go full melee, shield and sword, two-handed or even bare-fisted, because bows are for dainty wood elves. We're still gonna use magic though. I like to incinerate my enemies into the soil. But now, Plumkirsch is here, and he crossed from the southern border to Skyrim in the search for fame and glory. His story will intertwine with ours. He and I will share the same tribulations, yet reap very different rewards. But enough stalling. Destiny awaits, and it takes work to get from rags into riches. Our adventure starts as we head north into the nearest town, Helgen. A town that was said to be a moderately sized and thriving community in the region. From there, we can rest our feet and wait. Are you fucking shitting me? I guess we're going to Riverwood. While I heard it's not the best place, it's nearby, and I don't want to stay and find out what caused all this. Now, Riverwood is what I can best describe as a stagnant and small hamlet, much like a dying backwater town. As the generations go by, the gene pool will most likely get smaller, but like said small town, it has a certain charm.
Are you listening?
Hard not to.
The ale is going bad. We need to get a new batch. Did you hear me?
Yep, ale's going bad.
After taking the local crops and seizing the material means of production, I decided to socialize in a tavern. It turns out that a bard, Sven, is in the middle of a dispute. He's been trying to court a woman named Camilla, but a rival is also interested in her, a wood elf by the name of Fiandel. Sven hatched a plan to win her heart. He decided to forge a fake letter from Fiandel to send to Camilla, making her disfavor him while also incriminating his reputation.
Give Camilla this letter. It's full of venomous nonsense. Tell her it's from Faendal.
I decided to also talk to Fiandel and tell him about Sven's plot. Unsurprisingly, he decided to hatch a similar plan and took the fake letter in exchange of his own written concoction, but I took the original back into my own grubby hands. Now before we continue, I should say, helping either side will make them forever be in your debt and become your follower. Sven makes a subpar follower, and his level only goes up to 20, making his skills as a bard prove lackluster, thus making him as useful as a glorified hype man. As for Fiandel, despite his level cap going up to 30 and being able to offer archery training, we don't need that. I also would not trust a wood elf to be my follower, since wood elves back in the day used to conduct ritual cannibalism. I may be a morally flexible orc, but even professionals have standards. I also pity Sven. He lives with his mother, and his job as a bard in the local tavern has proven to be a financial crutch. But worst of all, he's a simp, and part of me deep inside thought I could change that. So I did the obvious choice. I went into the Riverwood Trader to find Camilla, and I ratted both of them out to her because it was the only way for me to help Sven out of this NTR fever dream. Plus, I get to screw over a wood elf in the process. Fiandel. Oh fuck. But whether or not I pronounce his name correctly, Fiddle will still be in emotional ruins, as it is deserving of all wood elves. Now a voluntary celibate, Sven will prove to be a competent follower with nothing keeping him back. As a first order of business, I gave Sven some armor, weapons, and a flintlock rifle. And before you ask, how about you don't ask? Don't worry though, we won't be the only ones.
Get out of my sight.
Skyrim, for the better or worse, is now akin to modern-day Chicago, where you're most likely going to be robbed, stabbed, or shot before the ripe old age of 30. It won't break the balance, since I have added a couple more mods to even the playing field. Like Melee, it's no secret that Melee in Skyrim VR is absolute dog shit. So, we made a few dangerous additions and tweaked it to fit the VR platform, like the addition of the and magic. Well, let me just show you.
Let's see how you like this.
The fuck?
You remind me of my cousin's fat.
What did you say, Nick? Oh my dude, you just got wrecked.
All will be necessary in the world of Skyrim, where creatures not grounded in reality roam the lands, like vampires, spriggans, draugr, women, and spiders. Big fucking spiders. No, wait, that's Australia. But again, enough stalling. Sven and I grew wary of Riverwood. Our next stop for our grand adventure is Whiterun. From there, we can start our journey as adventurers. Glory, and especially money, will easily soon follow. First impressions were important, so at the gates of Whiterun, I greeted a guard in the only way I knew. A greeting that was common between the homies and I during our days in a boys-only school. I slapped him on the ass. I tried to explain, but he said that counts towards assault. Rejected, and as a result, dejected. I was now branded a criminal in Whiterun. However, I saw something that gave me an alternative idea to my plan. The horrors of war. And the idea to join the military. So join us next time, where we try to make some fun out of one of the most boring questlines in Skyrim. See Plumkirsch rise from a street orc to maybe an absolute unit, because his tale just barely started. And I hope to see you in the next shitpost of a video. If you want to see more, subscribe right now.